So, in addition to the normal story arc, which starts with the exposition, goes through character, um, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution, you'll also find that there are often conflicts or multiple conflicts within a book. These types of conflicts generally fall into one of six categories. Three of them are fairly closely related: the person or character versus nature, person or character versus technology, person or character versus the supernatural. That's when a person or the character, the primary character, is in conflict with a non character, something that is maybe beyond a human or another character in the case of books where characters are not human. So those are person versus nature, where they're in conflict with the natural world. Person versus technology, where they're in conflict with technology, as some of you may currently be experiencing a conflict versus technology. And a person versus the supernatural. So magical beings, mythological creatures, things like that would be the supernatural. A person versus self conflict is when a person is in conflict with their own character or their own nature. Often you'll find that a character is trying to overcome their fear, or they're trying to develop the ability to do the right thing, even though it's difficult. So those are often person versus self or character versus self conflicts. They're very common in literature, particularly in good literature. There'll be a lot of person versus self conflicts. Person versus society conflicts. Those are where a character or a person is in conflict with multiple people or a general society, a they, that is standing in opposition to the character and their goals. So the conflict is driven as the person stands up to or fights against a society that stands against them. And then the most common or most obvious, probably, type of conflict is a person versus person. So when two characters are in opposition, you have one character who's the main character, who's the protagonist, and they're in conflict against another specific character who is in opposition to them. That is the antagonist. So you have a character versus another character, or a person versus another person conflict. That would be a person versus person. So again, different types of conflicts that you might have: person versus person, person versus society, person versus self, person versus nature, person versus technology, person versus supernatural. All of these are different possibilities for conflicts that you might be encountering in your book.